The $34 billion American agricultural sector is currently facing a profound crisis, and at the center of this storm stands John Deere, a company long regarded as a symbol of U.S. farming pride. Plummeting crop prices and widespread job losses are sending shockwaves across the industry, shaking the foundation of rural economies. But what's causing this upheaval? And what could it mean for the future of farming in America? Let's break down this complex situation and uncover the full picture. One of the most critical issues impacting both John Deere and American farmers is the significant drop in agricultural commodity prices. Key crops like corn, soybeans, and wheat have seen their market values drop sharply since 2022. Corn has seen a staggering decline of 37%, soybeans have dropped by 24%, and wheat has lost 35% of its previous value. These declines have dramatically slashed farmers' incomes, making it more difficult for them to afford new machinery or upgrade their existing equipment. Instead, many are opting to keep older tools in operation, avoiding the expense of purchasing the latest machines. This trend has led to a notable reduction in equipment orders for companies like John Deere, whose success heavily depends on new sales. Market projections in 2023 anticipated further deterioration, forecasting that crop values would decrease another 12% by 2024. Corn alone was expected to fall an additional 17.9%, signaling more challenges for an already struggling industry. This price collapse isn't happening in isolation. It's the result of overlapping factors, including excessive production and changes in the global trade landscape. One of the root causes is overproduction. For years, economic experts believed that population growth, particularly in emerging nations like China, would lead to sustained demand for U.S. crops. However, those expectations haven't panned out as predicted. Rather than relying on foreign imports, China has aggressively pursued self-sufficiency in agriculture. Through major investments in irrigation, seed technology, and farm science, the country has ramped up domestic output to new heights. China's push toward agricultural independence has been driven in large part by its 13th Five-Year Plan for Agricultural Science and Technology. Designed to turn China into a global leader in farm innovation by 2050, this initiative has already begun to reshape the international agricultural supply chain. As China becomes less reliant on imports and more focused on domestic yields, it's flooding global markets with surplus produce, which in turn has depressed global prices even further. Utilizing precision farming tools and high-yield seed varieties, China has become a formidable competitor to American growers. Simultaneously, Chinese equipment makers are gaining ground in markets once dominated by U.S. brands. Offering affordable, reliable machines, these companies are making headway at home and abroad, capturing the attention of cost-conscious buyers. Projections suggest China's agricultural machinery market will explode from $24.13 billion in 2024 to over $411 billion by 2033. This explosive growth is challenging American manufacturers like John Deere to reevaluate how they approach pricing, production, and market strategy. Historically, John Deere was synonymous with rugged durability and innovation. But today, price sensitivity is leading many farmers to consider cheaper alternatives that can perform core tasks effectively, many of which are now manufactured in China. This shift has prompted John Deere to make some difficult choices. The company has scaled back production and adjusted timelines to align with the fall in demand. These changes have unfortunately resulted in widespread layoffs. Thousands of employees, from factory workers and engineers to office staff, have been let go. Downsizing has taken a toll not only on the company, but also on the communities that rely on it for economic stability. Entire plants have been shut down or reduced in size, with ripple effects across local economies. Small businesses that serve John Deere employees, like restaurants, gas stations, and hardware stores, are now struggling to survive. The loss of jobs has sparked growing concern about the long-term future of towns that were once built around industrial stability. What's happening with John Deere reflects a broader transformation within the farm equipment industry. Legacy brands are no longer guaranteed success based solely on name recognition. Today's market values functionality, cost-effectiveness, and adaptability to global competition just as much as brand heritage. Rising input costs are significantly worsening the challenges faced by farmers, compounding the pressures already present in the agricultural sector. Since 2022, the prices of essential farming inputs, such as fertilizers, diesel, and high-yield seed varieties, have surged dramatically, disrupting budgets and squeezing already thin profit margins. Fertilizer, a critical component in ensuring healthy crop yields, has seen a price increase of nearly 30%. This spike is largely attributed to a combination of ongoing geopolitical tensions, such as conflicts in key production regions and lingering disruptions in global supply chains that began during the COVID-19 pandemic and have continued due to international instability. Fuel prices have also been highly volatile, with the cost of diesel, which powers most agricultural machinery, reaching unpredictable highs. For farmers, this means that daily operations, from plowing and planting to harvesting and transporting crops, have become far more expensive. The unpredictability of these fuel costs makes it difficult to plan ahead, adding a layer of financial uncertainty to an already risky business. Premium seeds, which are often engineered to resist pests or produce higher yields, have also become more costly. As seed companies face higher production and distribution expenses, those costs are passed down to farmers. This makes it increasingly difficult for smaller or mid-sized farms to afford the tools needed to remain competitive and productive. As a result of these rising input costs, many farmers are being forced to make tough financial decisions. Instead of upgrading or purchasing new equipment, which could enhance efficiency and long-term profitability, they are channeling their limited resources into simply keeping their current operations running. Routine maintenance of aging tractors, irrigation systems, and other vital equipment has become a priority, as replacement is often financially out of reach. This shift in spending is not without consequences. Without access to modern technology or updated machinery, farmers risk falling behind in terms of productivity and sustainability. Over time, this could lead to reduced crop outputs, lower income, and even the abandonment of farming altogether for some. In the long run, the rising cost of inputs doesn't just impact individual farmers. It threatens the broader food supply chain, rural economies, and national food security. Addressing these challenges will require coordinated efforts from governments, industry stakeholders, and agricultural organizations to ensure farmers receive the support they need. The decline in demand for new machinery is directly impacting John Deere's financial performance. In response, the company has had to implement cost-cutting measures, including more layoffs and streamlined production. Since 2015, John Deere has cut over 4,500 jobs. As recently as early 2025, nearly 200 employees in Iowa were dismissed in yet another wave of downsizing. These workforce reductions are a direct reflection of shrinking profits. The company's net income fell from $10.16 billion in 2022 to $7.1 billion in 2023, and overall sales dropped by 20%. A clear indication of how intertwined Deere's fate is with the broader agricultural economy. For many Americans, especially in rural parts of Illinois and Iowa, John Deere is more than a brand. It's a symbol of community identity and pride. So when the company contracts, the effects are widespread. Local vendors, dealerships, and contractors that depend on John Deere also experience setbacks. Lower household incomes among laid-off workers mean fewer purchases at local stores and eateries, adding to the financial strain on these communities. What once were vibrant manufacturing towns are now facing economic hardship and uncertainty. In an effort to trim production costs, John Deere announced plans to relocate some of its operations to Mexico by 2026. The goal is to move simpler assembly tasks abroad while retaining advanced manufacturing within the U.S. This decision has stirred debate. Many argue that outsourcing jobs hurts American workers and weakens the country's industrial backbone. The controversy also intersects with political debates around trade, tariffs, and national economic policies. Former President Donald Trump's threats to impose a 200% tariff on Deere equipment produced in Mexico highlight how politically charged these decisions can become. Despite the economic turbulence, there are signs of resilience and transformation. The growing movement towards sustainable agriculture is offering new pathways. As environmental issues become more urgent, Many farmers are turning to greener practices like crop rotation, no-till planting, and cover cropping. John Deere is trying to support this transition by investing in eco-conscious machinery. The company is developing hybrid and electric-powered tractors to help reduce emissions without sacrificing performance. These technologies are essential to Deere's long-term vision for sustainability and customer alignment. Through electric drivetrains and data-driven tools, John Deere aims to empower farmers to lower fuel usage, reduce waste, and improve yields, capabilities that could make a real difference in a financially constrained environment. But even with these advances, challenges persist. Continued crop price drops will limit farmers' capacity to adopt new technologies, no matter how green or efficient they are. John Deere is caught between pushing innovation and keeping products affordable for cash-strapped buyers. At the same time, the global agricultural machinery industry is becoming more crowded and competitive. Companies from Europe and Asia are quickly closing the innovation gap. Manufacturers from Germany, South Korea, India, and especially China are now producing high-tech farming solutions at much lower prices. From autonomous harvesters and GPS-enabled tractors to smart irrigation systems, these global competitors are offering robust alternatives at more affordable price points. For many financially stretched farmers, these foreign-made options are more attractive than premium-priced American brands. This intense international competition puts John Deere in a tough position. It must safeguard its reputation for quality and innovation while also cutting costs and meeting global pricing pressures. Achieving this delicate balance without compromising on product excellence or customer trust is no small feat. Moreover, falling behind even slightly in innovation could cost John Deere significant market share. The company must double down on R&D, explore automation, embrace artificial intelligence, and stay ahead in sustainable farming, all while contending with rising U.S. labor and material costs. This escalating global rivalry is more than a price war. It's a battle for technological supremacy and long-term survival in a transforming industry. Inflation, rising labor expenses, and ongoing supply chain delays only make matters more complicated. To remain viable, John Deere is streamlining its operations and trimming staff. While necessary for financial stability, these decisions risk damaging employee morale and the public image of the brand. Still, the company remains committed to helping farmers through innovation and leadership. By pushing forward in areas like AI-enabled machinery, smart agriculture, and clean technology, John Deere hopes to emerge from this crisis as a leaner, more future-ready enterprise. Government policy will also play a major role in shaping the future of farming. Legislative tools like the 2024 Farm Bill could be critical in providing support for producers and manufacturers. Enhanced safety nets, targeted subsidies, and incentives for sustainability could help bring some stability back to the sector. As we look forward, the path for John Deere and the broader U.S. agricultural industry will depend on how effectively they can navigate evolving markets, invest in forward-looking solutions, and uplift communities facing uncertainty. That concludes our comprehensive overview. We've examined how John Deere's recent challenges reflect larger shifts in the farming landscape, from falling crop values and rising global competition to profound local economic impacts. What are your thoughts on the road ahead for American agriculture? Drop your opinions in the comments, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the fast-changing world of farming.